Okay, it doesn't matter how hard you work if you don't believe in yourself. You cannot outwork a bad self concept. I spent a long time learning this lesson. Your self concept is basically another way to say your identity or the stories that you tell yourself about yourself. A lot of people don't understand that your identity is something that is actually quite malleable. All day long, you're having thoughts, probably over 70,000 thoughts a day, actually. And you're giving attention to these thoughts. The thoughts that you choose to identify with, and you say, oh, this is me, this is coming from my own identity, those thoughts are you, right? How are you talking about yourself in these thoughts? Are you saying, wow, I look so ugly today, nobody's gonna like me, I feel so anxious to go there, etc.? Are you dwelling in these negative states about yourself? Even ruminating in these kinds of thoughts? You can't outwork that. People talk about manifesting in regards to specific situations like manifesting a car, manifesting an SP, whatever. But everything is a manifestation. And it comes from a thought, right? I mean, really, it's coming from your subconscious. Your subconscious is producing a thought that you can understand in your conscious mind. And then that thought is producing action, right? So if I have a thought, oh, I want to create a painting, then that is the precursor to the action, right? So if you want to take an action, like, oh, I want to start this business, I want to be successful, and all day long you are thinking, oh my God, what if it doesn't work, blah, 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 like doubting, and you're like, oh my God, other people are going to make fun of me for this, and nobody is going to buy my thing, whatever, right? There is no way for you to be successful because you're giving all of this energy to a different idea, and that is forced to manifest into reality because we are so powerful as human beings, given this ability to transmute our internal experience, aka our subconscious, into reality and to pick what we want in our future. But a lot of the times we end up inadvertently picking something that is super not helpful to us because we forget how powerful we are and we act like life is just happening to us and we're just being dragged along for the ride, which is not true, because the more time that you spend telling yourself and fantasizing about the life that you want to live, the more energy you're putting into this for your subconscious to be like, okay, and then it's going to be like a little machine and it's just going to pump it out, you know? It will happen in a really beautiful and miraculous way a lot of the times. An example is that a lot of people think that you have to work extremely hard to get money. And if you believe that, then that will be true. And maybe you will be able to achieve wealth someday, but you will have to work really hard to get there. Some people don't believe that, and you might say, that's not logical. Yeah, you're that powerful. You have the ability to defy logic. So start to think, where am I putting limits on myself that don't need to be there? Because I am a limitless incarnation on this earth and I can have anything that I want with mental discipline. People just think, oh, it's just a thought, like it doesn't matter, it's not doing anything, I'm not actually doing something to harm myself, right? But you are. It might not be in such an obvious or indirect way, but you are literally ruining your life by constantly obsessing over either your past failures or how everything is going to go wrong. You're making success literally impossible for yourself. And this has happened to me so many times. I am not just talking out of my ass here. I would try to do something and I would be excited about it. And in the beginning, it would be going surprisingly well because I have beliefs about myself that I'm a fast learner. But eventually, my self-doubt and poor self-concept would creep in that I am not a successful person or whatever. And I would find a way to self-sabotage, either completely giving up or manifesting circumstances that were just really, really difficult. And it was all leading back to the fact that I was talking poorly about myself every day and I was viewing myself in a bad light. Like, everything in your life is really manifesting around your self concept, because your self concept is not just your personality. Your self concept is the things that happen in your life around you. Like, your self concept is, oh yeah, like money comes super easy to me. I've just always had money, so it's never been something I have to worry about. This is the advantage that rich people have. They have never been programmed to worry or think that they can't have money. And if you grew up broke, then you have been programmed by life experiences. So now you have to consciously reprogram yourself to believe that you can have money, success, good relationships, whatever it may be. And that is your responsibility. A lot of people don't like the idea of responsibility and they just want to wallow in the fact that life has been hard for them. And I totally get that, because being responsible, especially for things that you had no idea. You had no idea how powerful you were at this time and you didn't know what you were doing to yourself. And forgive yourself. Live with radical forgiveness of all of these things that you view as mistakes, and then start working on it. Start doing affirmations and start journaling and think, like, where am I really held back in life? Like, where has there been so many problems manifesting for myself? And write down those beliefs. If you secretly think that you're weird or you're too ugly or you'll always be broke or you're not smart enough or whatever, write it down. Okay? Write it down and force yourself to look at it. You're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I actually believe this about myself. But I do, and I have for so long. But now that I'm looking at it, it's like, this is embarrassing. Like, I wouldn't want my family or my partner, my friends to see that I believe this about myself. Like, but other people often can tell through the way that you speak about yourself and your actions, the way you treat yourself, the people you surround yourself with. They can tell where you have issues, even if it's subconsciously for them that they can tell. And that's another reason why it's kind of your responsibility to work on this, because it will help your relationships and people will be able to view you with more respect if you are actually able to respect yourself. So once you have them written down, think, is this helping me or is this probably making my life worse? And then replace it with a new belief. We're like, okay, I'm going to start to believe against all of my life experiences that I am beautiful. I am intelligent enough to get whatever I want. I am a successful person. I don't care if you're unemployed right now. I don't care if you have nothing going on. You can start to tell yourself that you are successful and watch things turn around. This is the way for opportunities to be presented to you. It's going to be quite amazing. Things will just happen out of thin air. It is quite magical. But when you tell yourself all day long, nothing good ever happens to me, I'm gonna be broke forever, guess what? You will. And if you're surrounded by people who are also doing this, maybe take some time to be alone, because it is so easy to just pick up on other people's patterns and have that be integrated as part of your personality. But guess what? Do you want their life? Like, are you happy with their life? Do you want that to be you? I heard a quote recently that was like, show me your closest friends and I'll show you your future. What an amazing quote, because it's so true. We just innately pick up on other people's speech patterns and even attitudes towards life and beliefs and everything when we spend a lot of time on them. Like, humans are very connected and impressionable. And reprogramming your mind is going to result in not having some of these same connections, maybe, because you are going to be shifting into a different identity and you might not be able to negatively relate to people all the time anymore. But new people who are positive and living lives that you actually want to live will come into your life. Like, everything will transform. And I'm literally not even saying you have to do anything, okay? Opportunities will come up to you, okay? Like, people will come up to you. You will naturally go to you'll go to locations that maybe you've never been before, and then you will randomly bump into people. Like, maybe you'll just suddenly feel compelled to go get a new job, and then at that new job you'll meet this person, and then they'll introduce you to this person, and it's like that's exactly who you needed to meet for whatever goal in your life. Don't even think about the action, okay? Just focus on what can I do to get rid of these horrible limiting beliefs, because I am a spiritual being first, and I have more power than I have been led to believe by society. Society is working so hard to program you to think that you don't have any power and you are helpless, because when you're in that state, you buy shit, okay? You are manipulatable and you buy shit. You don't have to keep living like that. When you start to believe good things about yourself, like, it might sound kind of corny if you have been living in this state of self self doubt and self deprecation for a long time, to be like, oh, I love myself. But trust me, if you start saying that, you are not going to be as easy to manipulate, because you're not going to be constantly identifying with being in a negative state. And sure, of course, you'll feel negative emotions sometimes, but you won't be like, this is my identity. Like, I am a sad person. That's what you want to get away from, okay? Because then the universe and your life will manifest situations for you to be sad about. So when you start changing these beliefs, you will be less manipulatable and you will just be happier. And because you'll be more uplifted and you'll be identifying as a more positive and more successful person, these things will come into your life. The right people will come into your life. Like, the opportunities will come into your life. The money will come into your life. Like, someone will randomly just decide to send you money if you're like, money just comes to me. If you affirm that for long enough, it will happen. Like, for no reason. So give it a shot. And yeah, please, I beg you, dedicate yourself to this for just, honestly, you will see changes really fast, but a couple of weeks to a couple of months, your whole life will change. So yeah, see y'all in the next video.